Up. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Vanderpump Rules Party. I'm Holly Borquez.
I'm Sarah C. How's everyone doing? We're
What's up,
back.
everybody? We're back, and it feels so good. How was your vacay, man? I mean, you were working, but damn that view.
Hard to beat.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you've been there,
I
so.
bet and it made it worse. Like I wish I wouldn't have been there. Like I could like feel it, you know?
Yeah, the water's so warm there, man.
I felt like I could just like feel the air, you know, like and like sitting on that balcony and just chilling. Ooh, so nice.
Y- Yeah, the humidity. And then the first day, like, oh, the hurricane's coming through. Oh, it's a tropical storm or it's a depression. But the rain was coming in sideways. So I was like, whoa, but it was still cool. And then the hurricane did not exist. And yeah, it was great.
Awesome.
Can't beat that view and that balcony and that whole sitch.
Yeah, it's so nice.
How was yours?
Oh God, a nightmare.
Yeah, I saw. Like, what happened?
So, we
I
were
mean, it
go.
was beautiful.
Yeah, you know what? It was fine. It was like such a lesson in like letting go. You know how I mean, me and you and Michaela, I mean, Michaela even more than us, but like we're planners. Like I plan everything like to the T. You know, I like to have double check everything and make sure everything's good. And we were all set to. We had rented a trailer from this app called Outdoorsy, and the guy was supposed to drop it off, and that was it. We were supposed to meet him at noon, and like there was no option for us to pick up the trailer. Like that was it. Like he wanted to deliver it. So anyways, everything was fine until we got to the national park, and it was fine when we rolled in there, and then when we realized where we were going, it was about an hour from like the gate from like the beginning of the park or whatever. And I mean, it was deep, deep, deep in the valley of this mountain, and there was just absolutely no service. So it was like 12 o'clock, and the guy wasn't
Oh,
there, and I was like, well, it was kind of a gnarly, it was like very windy, very, very windy roads. I was like, gosh, I can't imagine, you know, hauling a trailer. Like that must have been, it's probably taking him longer than it took us. So we're waiting, and then so it's like 1 o'clock, 1:30, and then it's 2, and Chad's like, dude, I don't know, like I don't have a good feeling about this. And so we're like, what, you know, we went and we talked to the ranger to see if anyone had asked about us or anything like that. And so the only thing we could, there was absolutely no service. We tried the payphone, that didn't even work. Like it was insane. And so we had to drive an hour back on this like windy road to go get service. And by the time we got there, the guy was like, I'm sorry, I couldn't find you. And so I went home. And so I was just
oh,
like, oh my God. So like I literally just like was freaking out because I was like, I want if the problem was is that my parents were camping there too, and we had left. You know, couldn't even call them to tell them we're going home. You know, because they had no service either,
yeah.
and I didn't want them to worry about it. So I was like, shoot, like should we just go back and just like bonfire it tonight and then drive home? But then I knew how like deep in the forest this place was, so I was like, dude, I don't know if we'll be able to get out in the pitch dark. You know.
Yeah.
So we ended up, luckily we had a tent that we brought like just for the kids to play in. And so we were like, screw it. Let's
Oh,
let's do it, you know. So we went back and pitched a tent, and we had no sleeping bags. Like I wasn't prepared to be outside, you know. I thought we would just be going straight into the trailer. So
wow.
it was crazy, and it was, you know, Daisy wasn't ready for that, so she was scared and crying, and but we did it. So
Well, sometimes the best trips, it's like the journey and it's the funny stories later.
yeah, I was trying to get there, you know, with I was like, okay, this is okay, like let's just do it, but it was just like we just didn't have the tools we needed to even do it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it was okay. But
I mean, like,
it was cool.
the best, like, some of the best memories is like, yeah, when the airline lost our luggage for 3 days and we were moving cities every couple days and our luggage was trailing, like, and I didn't have any clothes to wear, and it was horrible at the time. There's no Targets or Walmarts or anything in Europe, and it was, you know, but now it's a funny story. Or I like literally kicked literally with my foot kicked my sister off a train. And yes, she fell down to the ground and injured her wrist, whatever. And, I mean, it's funny now. I mean, she didn't think it was funny at the time, but it's one of our best memories.
Yes, totally. Yeah, no, it was all, I mean, originally when like we were planning this trip, my original plan was to tent camp, and then we ended up finding this trailer, which was really a low price, and now like it's making me wonder, like, was this all like, did I make a bad choice? Like, was it too low of a price? And this, I don't know, but it was fun. It was cool. And actually we have another camping trip coming up, like at the beach, down in Santa Barbara. So, I mean, Chad really liked it. I would like it if I was more prepared. I think next time I'll be more ready.
Yeah. Well, Santa Barbara, they have those glamping ones, so you can also camp at the beach.
Yeah. Ours is a plain one, but...
Oh, well, like tent?
Yeah.
I wonder if you're going where I went. It's I
no, like we pitch our own tent,
Yeah, no, I camped on the beach north of Santa Barbara, and it was beach tent. It was beachside, but it was tenting. But then it's connected to this. I think it's like a 2-mile hike up into these natural hot springs.
Ooh,
it's fantastic. I wonder, is it like Gaviota?
No, but I have heard of that. No, we're going to, it's called El Capitan, I think, or something.
Yeah, I feel like I've been there too. Okay, well, I'll send you the info. The hot springs are awesome, and it's definitely something Daisy and Ronnie can do.
Ooh, yeah,
sure.
Yeah, send it to me. I want to do that.
Especially after you told me your Loheia hiking trip. It's absolutely, definitely something both your kids can do.
Cool.
But they're natural hot springs, and
love that.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and you're probably right around the corner.
Cool.
And I would say there's, a lot of wine tasting places you can do, but that's not really up your alley, so.
I know. Yeah.
Anyways, well, I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's an experience.
Yeah,
it's
and you know what? It was very summery, and it was very, like, and I'm so glad we got to see that, because I've never been there. It was just, because we go to Mammoth a lot and stuff like that. But so this was cool to see the other side of the Sierras, and it was cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it's beautiful. I haven't ventured up that way at all, and I would love to.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay.
So I was watching some Lifetime, and I keep seeing this movie premiere, and I'm like, how do I know this person? How do I know this person? I realized, do you know what movie is coming up on Lifetime? It's September 18th. It's called Imperfect High.
Okay.
And they're like, Imperfect High with blah, 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 and Nia Sue. But I didn't recognize her. Yeah, I didn't recognize her because she's like an adult. Or maybe she's playing like an 18-year-old or something, but it's Nia from Dance Moms.
Oh my gosh, I'm definitely going to tune in.
Yeah, it's September 18th on Lifetime. So I was just laughing because I'm just thinking about, gosh, when we watched Dance Moms, and like, where's Maddie now? What is she doing? Like, I know for a while, after she left Abby Lee, she went on to host, the whatever.
Yeah.
America's Got Talent or dance show, whatever. And then, but where's Chloe? Where's Mackenzie? Nia, who worked with Mikey Minden, Erica Jane's Glam Squad guy. Remember he like, what's Nia's mom name?
Dr. Holly.
Holly. She's like, Mikey Minden, he's huge. He's so esteemed in the business. This is a huge break. Didn't he teach her the death drop or whatever?
I think so, yes.
So it's just, and then she was trying to get into acting at the time, but she was like 12. But now, and she's like starring Nia Sue, and I'm like, I forgot. Yes, that's her last name. So that was a little blast from the past. So, do you know where Chloe or Mackenzie or even Maddie at this point? Do you know what any of them are doing?
I mean, Chloe.
Well, we know what JoJo's doing.
Yeah,
dominating.
Dang, yeah. Chloe was going to Pepperdine, and then like COVID hit, so I think she had to go back home. I don't know what happened, but yeah, she was like living in the dorms in Pepperdine. Maddie is just like doing like Fabletics ads and doing her thing, and
Pepperdine, all the way from Pennsylvania. Huh.
Yeah, right into Malibu.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're digressing into Dance Moms. That should be a different podcast. Trust me, Vanderpump. Okay, Lisa was on an interview. She did several interviews this week, and she's like, "Trust me, it's coming back." Oh, someone said, "Oh, you're filming now." She's like, "Darling, we're done filming," as we all know. She's like, "Oh, it's coming back sooner than you think. It'll be very soon." So, very soon. Okay. Maybe we don't even have to wait till December. Maybe it's going to be like.
This is my guess. I'm hoping we get a trailer drop like in September, so in a couple weeks, maybe like 10 days or something, and then maybe like a start date of like late October.
Yeah, or like November 4th or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Super excited.
I can't wait. Like I cannot wait. Chad and I were just like in the car and we were talking about like people that we've met like over the years through the podcast, even if we just interacted online or something, and like I was cleaning out my entire house. I lose something and I have to like clean everything up, because I can't find Ronnie's frickin' like her shot thing, it like says all of the immunizations that she's had over the years that I have to show for school. I can't find it. So I've like been ripping my house apart, but I found the podcast anti-burn book that you made for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I was reading all of the comments, and like so many people loved the podcast. Like there's pages and pages of these, all these reviews that you posted or Facebook threads. And there was so many people in there that, obviously like maybe they don't watch the show anymore or they don't listen to the podcast or whatever, but dang, we have had a good run on this podcast. And like it's just been amazing. It really has. So yeah. I'm so hyped to do a new season, and like I don't know, I feel like this is it. I feel like we're seniors, and like this is our senior year, and like this is it. Like we know how to do it. Like we know the drill, and I'm going
like
all
Donna
out.
Martin graduates.
Yes. Like I'm feeling confident. Like I'm not going to be scared and be like, I don't know, should we have a meetup or not? Like we're going to do all the meetups, all the parties. Like let's do it.
I do feel like it's the last season. I don't want to curse that and throw it under the bus. Like I'm so excited. I just kind of feel like it may be it's a wrap kind of thing.
I feel like if it's not, like I hope that it does go on, but I feel like this is going to be like the last one kind of in this moment of Vanderpump. Like it's like coming full circle, and then I don't know what is going to be in store for it the next time. Yeah, then it will
be something new. It will be like Saved by the Bell 2.
Yes, but I feel like this is like we have to like close this up,
blow it out, bring you all back. I know
spill
a lot of
all the tea. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of you guys I know, may or not be listening. It's not the greatest thing we're doing retro episodes because we're trying to hype us all up for let's get back in the mode. Let's get back in the Vanderpump mode. And I hope it's not the last, but let's just gear up and just blow this shit up.
Yes, let's just enjoy the hell out of it. Like I need this. Like it's been a rough year and a half, however long like everything has been going on. And again, like I feel like I've had like a weird feeling in the last couple weeks too, because it's like weird to be like talking about a vacation or whatever with everything that's going on in the world and what's going on over in Afghanistan and all that stuff. It's just like, ugh, like I don't even want to, it's like anything I'm saying isn't worth it. But this is why I love Vanderpump Rules. It's kind of an escape, and that's what this podcast has always been for me. It's been so awesome to talk to you guys about the show and like get it out, and it's a little escape. Like I don't know, there's nothing else like that in my life for me, and I love this.
Yeah, and like just today we're talking about the COVID stuff. We're talking about Afghanistan stuff, and it's just like
it's
really
what, sometimes
heavy. It's just and even Housewives. I know you're. Don't watch all the ones I watch, but even with the Beverly Hills, it's been a stellar season, but it's also very heavy. So it's like everyone's talking about all this heavy stuff. And so it's more of like a vendetta watching show than just an escapism show. And sometimes we just need that. And sometimes those escapism shows are just dumb as hell. Like sometimes people, I mean, I know a lot of you love Summer House. I watch it. It's never been the Vanderpump Rules to me. It's never been, I would say, Southern Charm would be next. Summer House for me has not really done it. Still watch it. I will still talk about it. We'll talk about it in a different podcast. Holly and I are talking about, hey, we'll do let's dedicate this to Vanderpump and let's do something else for other reality things. And that way you guys can choose to, listen to what you want and what you don't. But like things like that, where maybe I'm not so into the show where we really want to deep dive it. We're not so invested, but Vanderpump, it's our family. This is it's our family.
Yeah.
Did you talk about my family? But like even watching, like I was saying, Beverly Hills is like a little heavy because there's just so much stuff with it. And
yeah, it's like really real.
yeah, and it's going to be like that when Salt Lake comes back. Dallas was canceled, which I'm quite fine with because I was kind of done with it. Obviously, I still would have watched, but it just, the people I liked, I kind of was like not caring about so much anymore, or it's boring, or they had to be boring for self-protection. And then, it needs a reboot, a recast. We'll see. I'm still waiting on the Miami reboot for Peacock. And you know what I've noticed with all these apps that they're trying to push down our throat, like the TLC app, like, oh, watch The Single Life only on the app. Watch this show only on the app. It's like, I think the apps are giving up because all these shows that they said are only available on the app, they're now showing on the regular channel. So I kind of think, okay, the Housewives mashup when they go to an island, it's only going to be on Peacock. Maybe not enough people are going to tune in. They're eventually going to show it on Bravo. I promise you.
Yeah.
And Miami, it's only on Peacock. No, they'll probably eventually show it on Bravo. They're just trying to get us to pay for these apps, and it's not working because
and it's a lot. Like some of these apps are expensive.
Yeah.
Like the TLC one that you're talking about or whatever, that show that
it's not cheap.
That we've been watching, that You, Me, and My Ex. I don't have access to watch it, and my friend that I'm watching it with, it's $64. Is it a year or a month? It's insane.
No.
Like I can't afford that. There's no way.
No, when people are going to YouTube it or something, there's too many apps wanting too much money, and
it's not like it's like
$1.99
a hit or so. It's like it's so expensive. It's crazy.
And then you could just do it on iTunes or Hulu that you already have, and whatever.
It's crazy.
I think they're starting to clue into that. They're trying to force all these apps down our throat, and no one's doing it. And now I've just particularly noticed with TLC, because there were shows I wanted to see, but I'm like, I'm not going to buy another app.
I know.
And I thought I will suck it up for maybe 30 days. There's one show I really wanted to see on TLC, which was the Queen of Meth, which is Tom Arnold's sister. That looks super interesting. And I thought, what if I just sign up for a month and I'll binge the whole thing and then I'll cancel it?
Yeah.
But then they came up with, we have TLC, The Single Life. It's 90 Day Fiance, The Single Life. It's all the people like you really liked and you want to see their journey dating.
Uh-huh.
So I was just about to sign up. And then, guess what? They're airing it now.
Ugh.
So I'm so glad I didn't sign up for the damn app, because I can see it now for free on TV.
I know. See?
Yeah. See? Don't force all this down our... You made us all get rid of cable. Like, well, I haven't. You haven't.
I still have it.
Some of us dinosaurs have not, but most people have. And so they're buying all these apps, or like the Disney app. That is so expensive. Like a lot of the apps, $3.99 a month, $5.99 a month. Isn't the Disney app like really expensive?
Yeah, I want to say it's $17 a month or something.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately that one my kids use a lot.
No, everyone uses it a lot, for sure. but they hold you hostage. Any mother with children under 12,
It's
like,
so,
you
yeah,
have to.
it's like literally like a convenience tool. But yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah. All that adds up.
It
And yeah,
does.
because you have your Netflix and your Hulu, and
It
it's just too
does.
much. We might as well just have full cable at this point.
Yes.
Well, which we do.
Uh,
Some of us. So anyways. Well, all that said, BravoCon was canceled, and I don't know. I know a lot of people are disappointed. I felt a sigh of relief because I was having indecision issues, and like I should go. I don't really want to go. Like I don't need to see the housewives or converse, or I don't know. It just felt like, well, I should. We didn't go to the last one, and it's not even a fear for me for like, oh, all these people. It's just I just didn't want to do it, and so for me, I was bummed for the people, super stoked about it, but for me, like it got rid of the FOMO,
yeah.
so I'm kind of relieved.
Yeah.
And maybe they should rethink. I mean, obviously, nothing against New York City because LA is the same situation, but I mean, they could plan it in a place that's maybe more centrally located for everyone in the country, and a place that offers more spatial friendly situations,
Yeah.
where not everyone's so condensed in an area. So that's something to think about as well. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think they just need to rethink it. I think originally it was like such a cool idea because I mean there's so many Bravo fans out there, and to bring a place where, it's like,
But there are everywhere, and New
yeah,
York's a very expensive place to
travel.
travel to
Uh-huh.
and stay. So it's really unfair to the rest of the country. And there's Bravo fans, and
Everywhere.
probably the biggest fans are in, central United States.
Yeah.
So why not bring it to Central where you
Where
have a little
was-
more space?
Where was your Crime Con thing again?
That was in Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it was plenty of space. They've done New Orleans, they've done Nashville, Orlando. I mean, again, all places that provide a lot of space and just more territory to provide more social distancing than New York City.
Yeah.
So maybe they just should have rethought that. I still think they should have delayed it because everything obviously is happening everywhere in the country. So obviously, look, Alabama is having a state of emergency. So it's like, yeah, you could have a lot of space in Alabama, but the best decision was made to delay it, but postpone it. But they should rethink,
Yeah.
And also just be fair to everyone, all the Bravo fans, that, like I said, New York's very expensive to stay.
I'm sure they will. I feel like, not to slam on Bravo or anything, but I feel like their popularity may be like waning a little bit. Like I feel like there's been like a little shift in viewership and stuff like that. I'm sure as things, like start settling down, I'm sure they'll be moving around a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, they'll start going on tour a little bit and stuff, hopefully.
Yeah. I just think they should rethink their location, but
Yeah.
they had it there. They had the inaugural one there, and that's great. But okay. Anyways, move
Yeah.
on. So Pandora, I know we're a little late to the game. Holly and I both had our notes to podcast 2 weeks ago, then a week ago, and she had travels, I had travels, and well, we are kind of on hiatus.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not feeling like super guilty about, our schedule because you guys know we are always on schedule when the season is going, and we've done our best to fill in the blanks, while we're on break and do some other stuff. So, yeah. But yeah,
So-
we've been busy.
I really liked, Pandora waited. That is always a smart call and wait. I heard on Sheena's podcast, she's like, oh my gosh, and yes, I knew this information. I had to wait 5 months. I'm like, ooh, okay, so she's 5 months. But then I heard Lisa talking in an interview. She's like, well, and she wanted to wait until she was 6 months before we announced. And I thought, wow, well, that is super smart, super safe. But I mean, I don't know, kind of like it. Like she's going to be delivering before anyone has too much time to sit there and speculate about her. But I thought, it's very exciting news and everyone had to sit on it. And proud of everyone that held the secret. Like, good for her. But I'm impressed with Pandora's decision making because a lot of people want to announce when they're 5 weeks, let alone 5 months.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. When I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, like I would never want to make the mistake of speculating. We saw her before, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, but no, she looked like super good and glowy, and yeah, I would 100% for her first pregnancy say that she's like 6 months for sure.
Oh yeah.
So, and yeah, I think that's cool. And I think Lisa's going to be such a good grandma and Ken a grandpa. And let's not forget about Max, Uncle Max. Who, have you been watching Max's story? Max has been working out really hard. Like he's been like with a trainer like multiple times a week and he's getting like super in shape.
Really?
Yeah, so that's exciting. I mean, like, I always think it's, like, so cool when someone's on a journey like that. Like, I mean, he's doing, like, boxing and, like, his, like, major cardio. And, I mean, it looks like he's working super hard.
Is he with someone now?
I believe so. I forget her name. But yes, I'll tag her. I'll post her photo. He was photographed with her at Ariana's. I don't know if they're still together.
Okay. Well, I mean, he does tend to be in relationships for long periods of time. So
yeah.
Probably. Okay, in breaking news.
What?
Hot off the press. AKA not hot off the press. Jax's big announcement. He is not on Big Brother.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
Like, was that the announcement, or is anyone going to call Randall or Jax on this? Because, like, I listened to Randall and Lala's podcast, and they take that, Randall was so like, oh, buddy, I want to break it for you. I'm holding my tongue. And Jax is like, please, let's just wait till next week. Let's wait till next week. And it's like, next week never came. And, like, it was all this innuendo. It's Big Brother. So clearly it's not Big Brother. So what is it? Clearly whatever the big thing was fell through. Do you think it was Big Brother, or do you think it was something else? Like he's producing his first movie or something?
It had to have been Big Brother because I feel like something fell through. Otherwise I feel like we would have heard like an inkling of something going on, and I've heard nothing.
He's just going to say, though, if that was it, he's just going to be like, they're not letting anyone in. It had nothing to do with me. They wanted me. They wanted me to be the star. I was number one. It's COVID. They're not letting anyone in the country.
Yeah.
It's not going to,
Yeah, he'll have a reason for sure.
I still don't think that's, like, the greatest, hugest breaking news that Randall made it out to be.
Yeah.
I mean, is Big Brother that big? I mean, I know it's a big show that's been on forever. It's just...
Well, it would kind of be like the first move that someone has made on Vanderpump Rules, like after everything like it would be pretty cool. And it would be something he could brag about. I don't know. I just can't figure out what else it could possibly be other than that. Like, what else would he have had in the works? A new podcast? like, what?
I mean, I've never watched it. I only watched it a few episodes when our, as I've said, Malibu Wine Safari tour guide was on it. And so what I gather is I might have liked to seen him on it because he would be such a snake in the grass because, he would be betraying everyone's trust. He would be making all sorts of alliances and then betraying all of those alliances. So I might have enjoyed that.
Yeah. I don't even dare compare him and Brittany to this couple, but because they are not on their level at all. But they're kind of like Heidi and Spencer-esque, and they've always been really interesting on other reality shows. But I don't know if Jack's could. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if he could do it. Like, would he be entertaining? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Well,
would be entertaining to see the other cast members pick him apart, you know?
yeah. I'll be like, who are you, mate?
Yeah. And he'd get all mad, like, don't you, I don't know, I don't know who you are.
So instead, all I've seen is him and Britt hawking stuff on like Amazon Live or, Cruz's big modeling career, like modeling for Lala's stuff.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Lala, someone posted, I think it started in Reddit, and then it kind of trickled its way out to the groups, but how she talks about her makeup line being so clean and so, animal friendly and whatnot. And all these people were posting, it's like the opposite of clean. If you look,
Oh, yeah,
first of all,
I saw
it lists
that.
like it could contain asbestos. Um, we can't guarantee, we can't give you the ingredients because they may change. And so all these people were saying, well, if you're allergic to something, that could be a problem. And they're like, buyer beware. There's no refunds. I don't know. It sounds pretty problematic. And I do believe that because when you smell the things, like, I mean, her lip gloss, I did, we bought that and we gave some away and I did like it. And I've never had something go on so smooth and also smell so good. And I thought, okay, now that I think about it, it's probably wrong. It's probably,
Yeah.
but then I did notice with the bronzer stuff we bought and gave away as well, it was like, oh, this doesn't seem, it definitely didn't seem like a real clean, organic, I'm not
I don't
going to
know.
say,
I feel like with her, I mean, and I think she tries to act differently, but she, um, she's just hawking a makeup line. She's putting her name on something. Like, I don't ever
yeah,
see her in the science lab, like dripping in oils onto a sample with like a shower cap on and like thumbs upping the person. Like, I think she just, orders what she wants and they put her name on it. And she's like, here's my stuff. And that's why it's like made in.
yeah, she does, but she does go on, I only dove into this because of this thread. It wasn't my own research. She does, and then I started to notice too in her own post. She does proclaim it's clean, it's
Yeah,
so organic.
that's not cool.
She proclaims all this stuff that is technically not, and
Yeah.
that's a little like
Yeah.
speech breaks. And she probably doesn't realize or know because, like you said, she's not in the science lab, or she's just
Y-
like, oh yeah, it's fine,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, just do your own research, especially if you have allergies. Someone said they asked for ingredients. It's like, oh, we can't provide that because it changes. Like, if you are a person, because I do know friends that are allergic to certain things in makeup, like very particular with that. That's why I have those, certain makeup lines that are
Mhm.
so free of things. I just know I don't have those allergies, but I just know if I like something or not. I did like her lip gloss. I didn't like her bronze, so I'm just being fair. Like, I'm like, I liked it, and then I didn't like this. But if it's something more serious with allergies and or being clean or animal cruelty free or something, I don't know. Just do your own research. And as they say, I guess some people had asked for refunds and they're like, no, that's why we say buyer beware. There's no refund. So just know, probably not going to get a refund. So buyer beware.
Yeah.
Anyways, what else? Anything happened on social media? Not a lot's been going on. I mean, some of you in our group, thank you for posting. You went to Tom Tom and you saw Sandoval behind the bar. That's fun.
Mhm. Looked like See You Next Tuesday went on last Tuesday. And it looks like a couple of them went out for Janet's birthday, like for brunch today. It was Kristen, Sheena, and Brittany, I think. Interesting.
That's random. Okay.
And I noticed that Stassi and Bo were just in Boston, where I was,
Yeah.
for Taylor Strucker's wedding.
I thought about that. I'm like, oh, Holly's probably kicking herself. I'm like, you missed her by a couple weeks.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, they're literally standing where I was.
Yeah. I thought about that. Yeah. So Taylor Strucker married her Taylor. I don't know. Oh, Donahue, I believe is her name. So they got married, and I believe, well, I know originally Stassi and Bo were their bridesmaids, groomsmen, but I don't know, if that was changed. I know originally they were the bridesmaid and, well, Taylor. What do you call a woman groomsman? Taylor was going to be on Bo's side, and Taylor Donahue was going to be on Bo's side, and Taylor Strucker was going to be on Stassi's side. But then, obviously, their wedding didn't happen, and they just did the backyard thing at Katie's house. But
yeah.
Anyway, so I think that was happening in reverse with Taylor and Taylor, but I don't know if that ended up.
Yeah, it looked like just like a super small little ceremony.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that happened.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have some birthdays we missed and a few coming up.
All right.
So sorry, you guys. We were ready for this last week, but shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
So August 9th, happy birthday to Devin Farney, and special happy birthday to Lolly Love.
Aw.
One of our faves and OGs. On August 12th, birthday to Lily Huseman. And August 15th was Liv Aravelos. I'm going to go with Aravelos because it's one L. It's not two. August is 16th. OG from the UK, Lee Jenkins. Happy birthday, Lee. Coming up on August 20th is Bonnie Knight. On August 27th is Shauna Conway Dollar. She'll be 54. And Aaron Simon on August 27th. You know Aaron?
Yes.
So, happy birthday. We have someone, her due date is August 25th. And I'm sorry I don't know your name because you post as Nutritious Living. So, Nutritious Living, have a nutritious, healthy birth on August 25th. Anyways, there we go.
Nice.
So, we going back to season 4, episode 9?
Yes. Let's go there. I was like,
Vegas morning.
Where are my notes here?
I know. And I watched this now, like, I had my fresh notes for our fresh podcast, and, well, whatever. It's what it is. But Vegas morning, the Toms went out. Sandoval's still partying as the other guys wake up, and then the Toms reveal their tattoos. Bubba, and then, okay, I'll give this to Jax. He's funny. Oh, dude, if you go to jail, you're fucked.
Oh my God.
True.
It's true and funny. Yeah, this is hilarious. So,
and then he talks about...
Yeah, Vegas is always funny, but, like, to see them, like, reveal their butt tattoos is hilarious. Like, that's
And Jax
great.
is like, it looks like a bacon A on fire. Which it does. And hence the bacon A. It's now become infamous, and I forgot that Jax was the first one that called that out. I did not realize or remember that Sandoval was tattoo free. I mean, like me, like you. Well, actually, no, not like me. I forget that I got one. I know, it's been, I was 18 for a long time.
Oh my gosh.
So, and like you, and you still haven't gotten tattoo on your wrist.
I still kind of want one, so maybe one day.
Do you know what's fantastic? The time is right, because do you know what's coming back?
What?
Fantasy Island.
Ooh.
And do you know what that means? The original Fantasy Island was tattoo the plane.
That's right.
And so when you told me you wanted to get a tattoo on your wrist to sing tattoo, my reaction was, what do you mean? Like the plane. And like, you didn't get it, but Chad got it.
Yeah.
Because you knew what Fantasy Island was. But now the new Fantasy Island's coming back, so you're going to have to watch it. And they do make reference to that, by the way. So maybe you should watch.
Yeah, maybe it'll get me going again.
I feel like there's like someone on there. Is it Vanessa Marcel? Like Brian Austin Green's ex? That's, if it's not her as like the host, as like the Julie McCoy, probably another reference you don't get, Love Boat host. And I don't mean to diss you by that. I'm age shaming myself when I say that. Vanessa Marcel, though, if it's not her, it looks like her. She's
okay.
Like the main, you know who she is.
Yeah, I do. I like her.
Elris Spice. Okay. Anyways.
Wait, I know what I was gonna tell you. Have you been getting? I've been getting so many pop-ups of Sunset Music Festival, like when we were there, and Chad dressed up like a vampire weirdo, and we both really miss that shit.
Well, I keep getting them every day, and I feel like I posted so many of those timeline pop-ups. I'm like, all right, I gotta calm down on this shit.
I know.
But yes, every day it's like you and Chad, and you're like, have the beautiful braids and a beautiful outfit, and he's like a vampire, and like every single day.
Well, we like clearly told him, we're like, Chad, we're going with like a 60s vibe, you know, and that's how he came. So
yeah, Ryan was Jim Morrison and looked like him to a T. Everyone went up to Michaela thinking she looked like Pam, Jim Morrison's hippie girlfriend. You and I had our hippie braids that we had done at the braid bar and our outfits, and then we had a vampire with us.
Yeah.
Like literally a random person came up, I think it was to Ryan and Michaela, and they were like, oh God, your group, it's like cool, you got this whole theme. They're like, we're just a little confused. They're like, what's up with the random vampire?
Oh my gosh.
Which would have fit the first year, because like she was like a kind of a Katy Perry, and he had the mullet, like rocker mullet, because I think that was the Motley Crue year or something. And we were just, I was like in roller derby, like purple hair and shit, and we were just random, and Chad was just normal.
Yeah, but he was like so happy that day, so he didn't even care. He didn't care about people pointing at him going, what the fuck? Like he liked it.
But the first year, when we think about it, when we were dressed up, that was Chad Montgomery year, and cotton candy. When I have that picture of him holding cotton candy and smoking a cigarette, which I love. It's still one of my favorite pictures. But like, he was just normal Chad.
Yeah. Yeah. Something came over him.
When did he meet in the? Was he dressed up when he met that one band in the elevator, or was that what?
Yeah, I know. That's who that's, I think.
Sister?
Yeah. Black Veil Bride.
Black Veil Bride.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay, yes. Okay, so back to Vegas. So the boys get their tattoos, and then we slide over back to Sir, and Ariana's bartending, and Katie's there, and she's like, well, you know, I hope that Tom chose a great time for his mom to be coming into town. I hope he shows up real hungover and helps me clean up and get ready for his mother. So we learn that she's coming, and that just makes it all a little more exciting, because he's coming home with that tattoo. You know, is Ariana going to like it? What's going to happen?
And they're driving straight from Vegas to work.
And it was really grossing me out how they were like talking about how they smelled, because
yeah,
I could just imagine it, and it wasn't good.
And it's like, use those great Vegas bathrooms and bathtubs. Like, they have the spatial showers, and
I mean, it's not like they did like a 24-hour turnaround trip where they chose not to get a hotel room, because I've done those before. You know, you can do like, you're like, I don't have money for a hotel, I'm just going. Like that, fine, you have an excuse to smell bad, but they were in a room. Like, just jump in the shower real quick, man.
I've done that, but also back in the day, they had before they tore down the original Aladdin and the original Stardust, the Stardust, which was very centrally located, you had your tower rate, and you had your motel pull-in rate, so I could say I was at the Stardust, but I was paying like $30. And then the Aladdin, I would pay like $35, and that would include like a Thanksgiving meal.
No way.
It's like, yeah, it was like orange chicken and mashed potatoes and a vegetable, and then I could like go watch a lounge act perform. That's when they actually had like lounge acts, lounge acts in the casino, just for ambiance, and like, if someone wants to take a break or they're not into gambling, but their spouse is out gambling, they can sit there. And I would do that because I wasn't of age. And I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying the music. And I have that dream. I'm like, you know what I want to be? I'm not good enough to be on like American Idol. That didn't exist then. Okay, we'll say Star Search. I'm not good enough for that. But you know what? Maybe I could be a Vegas lounge act singer. And
you could have, for sure.
I was so down with that, and it's still a dream, but nobody has that anymore. It's really sad.
We should really bring that back.
Yeah, I think when the Golden Nugget sold to, I don't know if you remember, I think there's a little bit of a reality show about it. It sold to these younger guys that wanted to bring back the old school Vegas.
Oh yeah, I watched that. I feel like.
Did you?
Yeah, I was into that. And then
I was so into that.
We went and gambled there, didn't we? I won there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they wanted to bring back that old feeling because that's how it was. And literally for a long time, even when we would fly there after I left California, went to Seattle, we would fly down to Vegas. You couldn't go to nightclubs. There was a couple nightclubs off on another road, like Paradise Road, Flamingo Road. Like they were their own entities. One was called The Drink, and you would go there. It was like a separate building entity. There was no nightclubs in the casinos. There was no Tao. There was no, name them all, whatever. They didn't exist. What existed in the casinos were lounge acts, and we had a lot of fun there, and we did a lot of things and had a lot of fun. And sometimes I still, even though they're lounge acts, I still ended up on stage either dancing or singing or whatever. That doesn't happen now.
Do you know who you may be able to pitch this idea to? Lisa. Lisa might think, that's a great idea, Sarah. Like, you never know. She's opening restaurants left and right in Vegas.
Lisa and like Mark Cuban, someone old enough to appreciate that.
I mean, and then picture like Nick Elaine designing it. It could be huge.
Mm-hmm.
I
could pitch it to her as like a piano bar with a jazz musician, but then it's like gonna go into like R&B, and then it's gonna go into some blues, and then it's gonna go into like, hey, not karaoke, but like that way it was.
Yeah.
Ambiance.
Yes, that old Vegas feeling. I like that idea. That's good.
Well, that was my dream. Because I figured I could aspire to that, and I could do that. I'm not going to be much more than that, and that was okay with me. And I was okay with that.
Yeah.
But that dream died when Vegas changed.
Yeah.
And then they demolished the Stardust. They demolished the Aladdin. They demolished the Sahara.
Yeah.
They demolished the Continental. I watched like 2 of them blow up. Like one time I was on the side of the cabbie, pre-Uber, pulled over on the side of the freeway. It was like New Year's Eve. I'm like, I got to get to my party. But it was like a big New Year's Eve. It was a big planned blow up. And I don't regret it for a second because it was like the coolest thing to see. Because, when you're on the Strip, you can see it from such a great, kind of like when you're at the Palms or the Rio, and you can see the Strip with such a great vantage point.
Yeah.
So like I saw it blow up and be, imploded, not exploded, imploded. And it was like crazy to watch that. Sad, because the best places I stayed, they've all demolished.
Yeah. Oh, man. I can imagine that'd be really hard to watch. Like for
Did you stay at the Aladdin before it?
I don't think so. No.
Before it was, well, it's Planet Hollywood now, but they still they didn't actually demolish that. They just totally
I stayed at
reconstructed it.
Like the Excalibur. I've stayed at.
Oh yeah, that used to be like $30 a night too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay. So where are we?
diary show.
Yes. Oh gosh. Now
So she's talking about doing the diary show. Okay, go on. Sorry.
I remember this is the first time that Annabelle and I connected as we were messaging about this show because her and I were going to go to it. Like we were literally going to go watch the diary show and then it didn't end up working out, but that was so like I literally remember this time very well.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know you were talking to her that early.
Yeah. Yeah, because
okay,
yeah.
What I noted was I didn't realize because we all know Ariana as she is now.
Yes.
And has been on several seasons. I didn't realize watching back this early season, which is really her first season or two, she's really kind of cocky. And it's very anti her.
Yes.
Now.
Well, I remember I honestly was not an Ariana fan probably until season 5, I guess, because I wasn't it turned me off for some reason. I thought that she was like really on her high horse and thinking she was better than everyone, and being coming off as such a big Kristen fan, it bugged me how she started blackballing her from the group and stuff.
Well, and I think because as a normal watcher, you were inclined to not be a Kristen fan, just because moral code, she fucked Stassi's boyfriend. And although season 1 I was not a Stassi fan and I was on the team everybody else until we realized the truth, so we're just conditioned to not like Kristen, so therefore we must like Ariana. But watching it back and now knowing Ariana the way she is now, it was so different because it's so weird because she's cocky and condescending, and we know that from that and she hates this. Like, I'm prettier than her, I'm smarter than her.
Yeah.
It's so not what she's about right now. So, and I know she hates that being brought up, but well, it is what it is.
No, a lot of the things she was saying, it was just it was like, ooh, I don't know. I mean, it was like
it was very cocky. She was, I've done tons of shorts. They get millions of views. And I'm like, I'm not a comedian that can act. I'm an actor that's funny and understands comedy. And I was like, oh, this is kind of a precursor to the whole scene of her talking about Rachel O'Brien on the beach. And now I understand a lot more, how offensive that was, not only obviously to Rachel, but to Kristen. It's like, yeah, she was coming off very cocky and egotistical and demeaning.
Yeah, and I can't help but wonder if the editors and the producers picked up on that, and they knew that would just kind of, fan the flame a little bit because, like you said, once you meet Ariana, that is that's really not how she is. And when you talk to her, she's so down to earth, so cool. And it's actually truly confusing. If you coming off watching the show from this season and whatever, and then you meet her and you're like, oh my gosh, I was shocked.
Well, and you wouldn't even have to. I mean, now, yes, you wouldn't even have to meet her. Yes, it made a huge difference at that point back then. But just watching her social media and her commentary and her insecurities and her struggles with anxiety and depression, and it's this is just so opposite of her. So was she putting on a shell front, or was she it's just everything she's saying is so opposite of how she is. So it was weird to watch it because I guess when we watched it before, we didn't know, and probably I would have hated her. But maybe because we were so painted into we have to hate Kristen because Kristen did this horrible thing, we're like, oh, doesn't even matter what this girl says or how cocky or egotistical she is, she's better. And now that I look at it, I'm like, ooh,
yeah.
Hey, why did we like her? No, I love her now, and I loved her then. But now I'm thinking back and like, huh, she's kind of a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I didn't love her this season. Yeah, it took me a while to warm up to her and to see. I really honestly think that in this season and some of the comments she made before, I think she had a huge wall up. I think she was really coming off of that bad relationship with that other dude. I think that there was a lot going on, and we've seen like major growth in her as a character, for sure.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, that makes sense too, because the guy she was with that was like just downplaying, like who would do reality TV or trash person. So she was kind of riding off his high horse.
Yes.
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was like, like just not celebrate. Like none of her accomplishments were good enough for him, and I think she found, such an opposite support system in Sandoval, and I think it took her a while to like congratulate herself too, and like calm down on kind of the comments that she's making here, like, oh, I do this, this, and this. Like, I think, as time went on and she grew more, like she realized, like, ugh, maybe I didn't mean it like that. She still may mean it, but I think it just came off different than she would want it to.
Yeah, for sure, because it's night and day. It was weird for me to watch. I'm like, how is this the same girl? But then again, still off the influence of that previous guy, and how they're trash TV. So maybe she was trying to make herself to impress him still, even though it was her acts.
Yeah.
Look,
well, and I also,
people.
Yeah, in the moment, we didn't know what was we don't know the future. I thought she played for sure a character that they wanted her to play. Like there's the Kristen character and then there's Ariana. Like she did a great job at, playing that character. But yeah, it is, watching it back is like crazy.
And she's just not a bragger. And so when I saw that clip of, she's like, oh, I've done tons of shorts and they all get millions of views. Like she's not a bragger like that.
Yeah.
But that season and then also the beach scene, she's like, the I study sketch comedy. It's always the running joke of every, her and Rachel and blah 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 and Kristen, like, I study it seriously. Like, yeah, that's a running joke, but she wouldn't say things like that now or take herself seriously like that. So, it's also maybe youth plays into it.
But I also feel like she will still let like a couple of comments fly like that, like in our current seasons, where you're like, oh, but it's like for every one comment that she makes, like she's quiet for like 7 others. So when she finally like lashes out, it's funny, and it's like we kind of allow it because it's like she deserves to say that,
Well, yeah, I guess when you think about it, that's true. Like, remember, like when she was warning Billy Lee about doing Stassi's podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah,
she gets him in. So the boys roll back into Sir. Oh, Lisa's like, "Where are you? You better be here." And they're like, "We're on our way, Lisa. We swear." So then they walk in, and she's like, "Do you have your uniforms?" So they pull up in the alley, and Lisa right away sees the tattoos, and she asks if they're permanent, and says it's the worst tattoo that she's ever seen. Regarding T. Sandy, poor T. Sandy. I feel like T. Sandy is like so into his image and everything. Like this was a real lapse in judgment.
Well, I didn't realize he didn't have any other tattoos ever.
Yeah.
And like I said, I pride myself on that. And it's like it's the new thing to not have tattoos, like clean skin. That's the new trend.
It is.
I still love, Are you asking me a question? Or
yeah, is it really?
Well, I'm just declaring it. And also,
okay.
You and I declared scrunchies long before.
Oh my gosh, that's very satisfying to see that come full circle.
Thank you, Caitlin Bristow. Thank you, Sheena, for believing in our vision. I know you followed our lead.
Yeah.
But I feel like having no tattoos is the new thing. It's clean skin. Still love the people that have them. No diss on that. I think it's great. And I think, now it's all acceptable and no one should have judgment. I love that part because, our parents' age are like, ooh, you gotta, ugh.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
not
no.
like that anymore.
No, I love like looking at people's like the art they choose to put on their body. It's so cool.
100%. Me too.
And
You should
like
watch Love After Lockup.
I'm jealous
There's
that
a
I
lot of
haven't. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, dude, if I was locked up, I would get tatted up for sure.
Oh God, I would not at all. It's so unsanitary.
Oh my
but
gosh, and if
okay.
I was a dude, I would be so tatted up.
Oh,
Yes.
I don't want a broken number pencil too with a fucking battery made from some weird ass shit wires that they got from us. Yeah,
Dude, that's
I'm
so
good.
hardcore.
Yeah, I don't need that toxicity in my life.
Oh my gosh.
You would do it?
I would do it.
Well, then
Well,
why don't you get a legit one in a safe place? Like
I
a safe
I'm
establishment.
scared. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm really scared to
But
do
you're
it.
not scared in prison? You should be scared in prison with all
Well,
that unsanitary
I mean, like if I was in there for life and like that's my new like way of living, like I'm gonna like go full force.
for life, but what if you were in there for like 4 years?
I mean, I definitely would want like a souvenir.
Well, yeah, like one prison tattoo. But
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
No, I
just
wouldn't
gotta-
get like sleeved up or anything. I don't know. I don't know. It would depend. It would depend.
How about a teardrop?
Oh my God. I remember I wanted to get a teardrop like at the fair. I wanted them to do it to me and then go work at the law office and I was like, should I? And then I also wanted like a Monroe piercing. I've definitely gone through some changes.
Did you want a real one or a fake one?
What, a teardrop? Or a
And a
Monroe?
Monroe.
A real?
Oh,
Yeah.
did you want the big gap? Like, ew, the ear. I can't even look at people with that earlobe thing.
Oh, and you know what I like what grosses me out the most is people say it smells.
Well,
I hope we're not offending anyone that has that. Sorry if you have that. Like, it's cool. But I've just heard that.
You're welcome to our premiere party, but I'm just gonna have to look away. So if you could wear earmuffs, cool. If you don't have any, I have some. I headphones, that works too. Oh, speaking of, I did get some deluxe headphones on my flight back. I had first class. Little disappointed though. I thought I was getting a pod, like the whole bubble.
Uh-huh.
I was so excited. The most more than the ocean. I was like, I can't wait to get. I feel like Stassi. I can't wait to get my bubble pod and watch my movies and get my drinks and blah blah. But no one can see me, and I was so excited for like months. I'm like, it's been so long, and I've only been at a pod a couple times. And it said that on the like little diagram. I'm like, oh, I get a pod. No, wasn't a fucking pod. Granted, I will say it was a sleeper seat, so you could go all the way and lay flat.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I could watch my movies, got my drinks. I had a lot of space. However, this is a problem. So I was waiting, in the boarding area, and this guy, and he looks at me, but you can't tell because you're wearing masks, and he looks and he does like the eye thing, and like I know he's smiling and like ooh. And so I look behind me. I'm like, is he looking at a family member? Like, I hope so. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, so I'm not sure. So I just kind of do the Minnesota, like, halfway nice eye smile.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, let's not engage because I'm not sure if you're talking to me or if you're looking at me and like, and so then I get on and I'm like, oh God, he's my seatmate. I was supposed to have the one singular one.
Oh.
For some reason, the airplane changed me. So I was in a person next to me, which should be for couples. And I don't even have my headphones on. But I pretended like I did. I'm such a dick. And here he is. It's that guy.
No.
It's that guy. And he goes, oh boy, are we neighbors?
Oh boy.
And I ignored him. Like I had my headphones on because I was thinking normally I board with headphones on to deter all conversations possible, but I forgot that I didn't have them on, so I was ignoring him like I did, and I was like, oh shit, you don't have your headphones on. I'm being a dick. And so it was like a 20-second delay, and then I look over, like barely turn my head. Oh, yeah, I guess so. Immediately turned my head, immediately put my headphones on because I'm an asshole. And I'm just like, I already felt the vibe out there, and clearly he wasn't looking at someone else. Clearly he was just trying to do a vibe there. And then, yeah, so I'm an asshole. Yes, I own that, okay? I'm owning it.
Okay, wait, is this the pineapple guy? I mean the avocado guy?
No, that was on the flight there.
Oh, darn.
That was a gay guy.
Oh.
I just thought that was fucking interesting.
That is interesting.
So anyway, so then I'm like doing my own thing, and I keep reclining. Oh, and the chair, it also has a massager.
What?
Yeah, so it's like a fucking like pedicure place. You know, I'm like, ooh, there's a massager. So I'm trying out all my angles.
Gosh.
There's a footstool that extends out, so you can put your feet up, and you can recline like a lazy boy, or you can lay flat. The problem is there's no partition. There's a big space, like table between us.
Okay.
But if I were to lay flat and he were to lay flat, and if we were both looking inward, we'd be like gazing into each other's eyes laying flat. That's fucking awkward.
This sounds like a Hallmark movie.
Well, I guess it could have been. He probably would have liked it been. So I noticed, like, I kept reclining at different, and then he'd look, and you know when someone's looking at you?
Yes.
And you just like, okay, don't look. And like, just keep focused on the TV. So I had to keep a movie on the whole time, because sometimes I just like to pretend. I have headphones on almost, I'll say 98% of the time. I have headphones on an airplane. I'm not listening to anything. It's just a deterrent. I like the silence. I like to check out. But I like the headphones to keep people from talking to me.
Yes.
I'm a dick. Sorry. But this time it wasn't it wasn't sufficient, because he was still talking to me with my headphones on. So I had to put a movie on, and so I would stare at the screen like I'm really engrossed in this movie, and I could see him when someone looks over and they keep the look over because they know you see it and they're waiting for you to like catch the glance and look. But I refused to do it. He did it 3 times. And then guess what this motherfucker did?
What?
So then they bring like our food shit, and we're eating our food, and then he literally picks up this fucking Ghirardelli chocolate and extends his arm into my face, waving in front of my face like, would you like this? Oh, because I'm a lady, I want a chocolate. And I'm like, I know it's a nice gesture. Julie's already called me an asshole because she said it was a nice man giving you a chocolate.
That's really nice.
Well, I think it's invasive. And just because I'm a chick, I want a fucking chocolate. I'm like, oh, so now I have to acknowledge him. He's tried to chat me up 3 times. I clearly embodied in my podcast or movie. And he keeps looking over, and now he has to get my attention because he's shoving the chocolate up my nose.
Did you decline?
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I don't like those anyways. I'm not that. I don't like caramel Ghirardelli chocolates. It's not my game. Maybe if he waved a little bottle in front of my face, I might have taken it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I just didn't like the. Maybe this. He'd already tried, and I was just like, just because we're seated. Yes, I'm not saying I'm not being friendly. I said hello.
Yeah. No, he took took a chance. I got to hand it to him, but that's fair that you didn't want it.
Oh now you're the second person that said I'm an asshole. It was a really nice gesture of him. So now I feel like a dick, but I didn't want the chocolate anyways. Even if it was in my own food thing, I wouldn't have eaten it. It's not my thing. I would have saved it and given it to, you.
Yeah.
Well, or not, because I would have given it to the kids.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was like, thank you. No, thank you, though. Went back to my movie.
Oh my gosh. I
don't know. I just don't need to be hit on when I'm held hostage in a situation in a chair. And then when the movie was over, I did want to recline and try to enjoy the bad situation because it's the only time I can. Usually I'm like packed like cattle on a Southwest flight or something. I'm like, let me enjoy this situation. But I'm like, well, clearly. So I laid flat. Well, then like my boobs are standing up and he's doing that. I'm like, all right, so I'm going to turn to the left, and I'm going to face the aisle. And then it's like, oh, is he going to be looking at my butt now? So I'm like, I'm just not comfortable. And then Julian made a good point. She's like, well, if there's no partition, she's like, what if you're laying down and he's laying down? It's like you're laying in bed together. I'm like, yes, exactly. So I had to keep, like, back up to the recline position.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
I don't know. It's just like I was so looking forward to that little pod, and it didn't happen. And then I had like Lychee Lou looking at me, and like if I had the one on the end, unfortunate because there's these 3 girlfriends, and they were on a big trip together, and they were in the single seats, one next, like boom, 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 and they all kept getting up and talking. I'm like, 2 of you could have been together. And the other one could have been on the side. Like, that would have been a better situation. And I could have been the single person. I don't know. Just.
Man.
But again, I'm not going to complain. It's like privilege problems.
That's funny, though.
So, the only reason I was in that because I was on a work trip. And my company felt so guilty that I was going to Florida, of all places, and I was really extending myself, being a team player, putting myself at risk. They wanted me to fly first class. Really great, really great. And I just felt guilty about it because I'm like, I've flown other places during COVID and coach, so I'm like, I didn't feel like ethically cool about it. Like, oh, I can fly coach on my own time, but on yours, you better fly me. I don't know. It just felt weird to me.
Yeah.
So I split the difference with them. I'm like, oh, I'm going to fly coach this way. And, I do get emergency row on my airline, and I get my own space and free bags and whatever. I'm like, okay. And then it was a really great deal. It was not an expensive ticket at all. Maybe because I got it a long time ago. People weren't still buying tickets, but so I got the one way back first class, and I don't know. I just I don't want to sound like a bitchy privileged person. It was just I was really looking forward to it. It was a little vacation.
I mean, have you checked like Craigslist misconnections? Like maybe the guy posted and he's like, we sat on a seat together, you reclined, I offered you chocolate, but I saw something in your eyes that said maybe you wanted more. Hit me up.
Well, if he had laid flat and I laid flat and we looked the same direction, maybe something would have happened.
Oh my god.
I mean, actually it would have been ideal if it was like, I was down for that, but
yeah. Oh my gosh, Mile High Club.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it happening. It just wasn't what I wanted to happen.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh no, we got off kilter here. So
it's all about that damn Bubba tattoo and jail and all. Okay, so
fish of the day.
So Katie was kind of like into the tattoo, which I thought was cute.
Oh my gosh, I made a note about this because yes. You know what it reminded me of? This is literally in my notes, and it's in caps so that I would not forget it.
Okay.
Schwartz is like, well, do you like it? Do you like it? Literally, when Katie spoke, I was like in deja vu from Sunset Music Festival. So it's really weird you just brought that up because literally Katie's response was, I think so.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
after that, I wrote, like Holly with Chad Michael Murray. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh my god.
So when Katie said that, I was like immediately transported to Holly saying that to Chad Michael Murray. And it's so fucking weird that you just brought up Sunset Music Festival without even
God.
us this point. This is really weird. It's like
if I know. Like if somebody says I think so or Chad Michael Murray, like either one, I'm immediately transported back to that like I will
right.
like I think that's like what like an acting class, like they have you draw on a moment like that, to get the right reaction out of you. Like that would, I think that may be like the thing in my life I could draw from, like to get either emotional or something, or pure embarrassment, or like lying to us. I don't know. It was just like why did I?
You follow me, right?
Like, why could I not give an authentic reaction? Why didn't I just say, no, I don't? Like, I literally was like, I was so shocked.
Yeah, of course.
I was so freaking shocked. I did not know what to do. Oh, man.
And this was really back in the time when you don't follow everyone you ever love.
Well, I felt like he was
Brandon Walsh.
Like he was assuming that I was like such a diehard fan of him. It's like, dude, I watch SoapNet and I like One Tree Hill. Like I'm not a diehard fan. Like I just want a picture with you, motherfucker. Like it's not that. God, that's what I wanted to say to him, and like his little ego. It's like, dude, I just want a picture with you.
Hey, you're not Brandon Walsh.
God. Chad Michael Murray. Yeah, it's like I'm not that big of a fan. I don't know.
Like I watched it too, but it was not in either of our heydays. We watched that show as adults.
Yes, exactly.
You watched it on SoapNet. I watched it because my niece Amanda was into it, and this was after 902 when it was done. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this show.
Yeah,
it was reminiscent of that, but it wasn't the same.
No. But yes, now jumping back to Vanderpump Rules, I did notice that, the Bubba, like this was like a big Bubba time. I wrote in my notes here, Bubba, it's tender. Oh, Bubba. There was just like a lot of Bubbas.
So Katie has.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I don't know. It's just like Katie has that reaction, which is positive.
Yeah.
And then Ariana and Jason was like, so what do you think? And she's like, ew, that's so gross. Why would you ruin your ass?
Who and then someone, I don't know if it was Ariana or Katie or one of the guys that were seeing the unveiling of the butt tattoo, but someone said, is it a dragon? Like, no, it's a bacon egg.
Yeah.
It's not a dragon.
It does look like it's somewhere in between.
Like, I'm just dying. Like, that it's just like such a great drunk tattoo where you're like, you know what? I want to get an A for Ariana, but let's make it a bacon. Like,
he could have got an A for and that could have doubled as for the Angels or something, or Los Angeles,
or I'm a type A personality, or like something.
No, it was like Dragon on Fire bacon.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
And then she straight up says, she's like, I really do hate it.
Do you know what we've probably missed, as well as every other researcher and podcaster in the world?
What?
Why have we not interviewed that tattoo artist?
Holy shit.
I'm wondering, okay, because granted, Jack says he's always on air, right? Like, are you sure you want to get a name? But where is the Bacon A tattoo artist? Why can't we track him down?
You know what would be another great station for our viewing party is we could get little tattoos made. You can either get the Bubba tattoo or the Bacon A. Or in Sheena's, it's all happening. Like, we have a little station. You can go get the little spritz bottle, put on a little tattoo.
Can we just make those? Isn't there someone on Etsy that can make those for us?
Totally. I think that would be super fun. And then, like our last viewing party was so awesome because we went out and we met the entire cast after. Like, could you imagine how excited the Toms would be to see our tattoos on our butts?
Oh, okay. Coming sooner than later. All right, let's look
You guys,
at
I mean, the
this.
ideas are just flowing right now. I don't know.
And maybe you guys know of people that can make your own temporary tattoos. And if we want to, if you have friends, let's support your friends because let's keep it in the family. If not, we'll try to seek it out. But that's a great idea.
I would also like really like a Stasi tattoo and then like crossed out. Like there's a lot of tattoos we could do. Like we could, yeah, we could come in,
Well, just like a Stasi one in her signature and then a Carmen one.
Yeah.
And then like both of them in like a crossed out.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be really good. Right. Okay, so where are we? So
Brittany's moving to LA.
Yes.
We're talking about a joint birthday trip, but Kristen is not invited. But this is weird because something must have happened because now there's a shift where even Katie wants Kristen to come and Sheena wants Kristen to come. So you can see they're trying to get on board with like, okay, we need her back in the dynamic. Stasi's gone. We need someone crazy back in our dynamic. Because why all of a sudden is Katie cool with Kristen all of a sudden?
Okay, now
Sheena is too.
This is like one of my, like if we are ever gonna, like let's say the show ends in 2 years and we end the podcast and we move on to do something else. If ever in like 10 years, if we're getting Vanderpump Rules party's coming back, we're gonna like get all the secrets from the show. This would be one of my like biggest questions. When something like this happens, is the person sitting there desperate to film and like someone is truly blocking them from filming? Like we saw this happen with Kristen, we saw this happen with James, we saw this happen with Lala. Through the history of the show, there's been times where we as the viewers felt the person was like kind of blocked from the group. Like I want to know, is that something that was like organic? Or were they kind of like, busted from filming? Like whatever the situation was. That's like such a huge question of mine. But yeah,
a true secret's revealed.
Yes. What I really liked about this, and I liked Katie in this episode, because she kind of referenced the fact that the Kristen being barred from hanging out with the group felt a little reminiscent of the Stassi days. And I thought, you know what? It's true, because when you have one group or one person saying this person can't hang out with us and the other people are all everyone's ready to move on, it did feel very Stassi-esque. So I thought that was like super interesting, and that seemed to this comes later, but that seemed to really piss off Tom and Ariana too. They didn't like that when they brought that up again.
Exactly.
Okay, so Kristen is single and wants Jax. Jax will be her wingman, and
first I noticed Sandoval, when his mom came, she was flashing pictures. I'm like, it was really weird to me because I had just seen a story of Ariana's like a week before. Sandoval looked like a young Josh Hartnett. And Ariana had posted, like, I literally watched this episode, and like a few days later, Ariana posted something about a young Josh Hartnett. And I was like, holy shit. First of all, he just reminded me of young Josh Hartnett. And now you're posting. So I think Ariana must have a thing for Josh Hartnett like I did. Do you know in Santa Monica I had Josh Hartnett's poster on the back of my bedroom wall?
I feel like Julie told me that.
Yeah, and I was old as fuck. And did you know that I met him?
No.
Okay, so I was on a flight. This is when I lived in Santa Monica. Flight from LAX to Minnesota, which is where he's from. And this is my Chad Michael Murray Holly dumb fuck moment.
Okay.
I even got it together for the Backstreet Boys a little bit. But this one, because I loved him so much, like he was going to be my man for life. And it was, still feasible at that time.
Yeah.
And, in my mind. Anyways, so I board and I see him in first class.
Okay.
I was not upgraded at that point in my life. And I'm like, oh, my man, like literally died for him. I'm dying. So I sit down, and then in front of me is this girl. She's like 14. She's freaking out with her mom. Her mom's freaking out. And she's like, go talk to him. You're 14. He'll have to be nice to you. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like peeping through the seats. Oh, yeah, you got to do it. You have to do it. And so we're all like,
you're all egging her on. Okay.
Yeah. And then her mom's like, go tell him who your father is. And I'm like, oh, who's her father? Well, her father is like the producer of NCIS.
Okay.
You know, that show.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh, I got some bigwigs in front of me. Okay. She's like, Mom, I'm not going to do that. She's like, well, maybe he's looking for work. Because at this point, it was past Pearl Harbor. It was like, he hadn't done anything for a while, but we still loved him.
Right.
She's like, just say, oh, my dad. She's like, Mom, I'm not doing that. She's like, fine, I'll go up to him, though. So she did go up to him, and she comes back, and I'm like a 14-year-old girl now, and I peep through the seats. I'm like, how'd it go? What'd he say? And she's talking to me like we're both 14-year-old girls.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, oh no, he was really nice, and he took a picture with me, and blah blah blah. And her mom's like, did you tell him who your dad is? And she's like, no, Mom. And anyways, the whole funny thing story, blah blah blah. Anyways, I had this whole flight to think about. Oh, here's Josh Hartnett. The weird thing is, so Marty, Michaela's mom, right?
Yes.
She literally on that flight had given me this DVD called Here on Earth, starring Josh Hartnett, Lily Sobieski, and then the dude that was engaged to Katie Holmes before Tom Cruise. That dude.
Oh, what the hell was
Well,
his
whatever.
name? Yeah.
So it was those three were the stars. Well, it was filmed in Canada Falls, where I'm from.
Okay.
Right? It was filmed there. And the little town next to it, Angelique is from, but it's not even really a town. It's like 200 people. So it was filmed there. So
Okay.
Michaela's mom gives this DVD to me. She's like, well, a lot of people from town worked on this, and I know how you love Josh Hartnett. Here's the DVD. It was in my fucking backpack.
Okay.
Okay, that should have been conversation enough. No, I had the whole flight to think about this. I go down to baggage claim. Guess who walks up, stands right next to me at baggage claim?
Oh my God.
He looks at me. He does the eye squint and the upside down smile like Schwartz does, like Minnesota people do. Like you're smiling, you give them the upside down smile, like, hey,
Yeah.
It's what I do. It's what Schwartz does. It's what Josh Hartnett does. He's standing next to me. Then he has a person, like a driver, come that's gonna drive him and help him with his bags or whatever. But we're standing there. Well, this is before Delta's new policy. I think we're still on Northwest Airlines at this point, and it's like 45 minutes. I'm literally standing next to him for 45 minutes. I can't think of I'm Holly with Chad Montgomery. I cannot think of, I'm Holly with the Guillermo headlights filming. I deer in headlights Holly, and I can't think of a fucking thing to say. All I had to fucking say is pull out of my fucking handbag or backpack and be like, oh, this is weird. Here, I live here in LA, and my sister just gave me this DVD of your new film, or recent film, filmed in my hometown. Wouldn't that have been a great icebreaker?
Yes.
Yeah. Did I think of that?
No.
No. Instead, I just gave him the upside down smile back. And then maybe 25 minutes into it, sure is taking a long time for these bags. Yep. Come on, lady. Get some fucking game. I missed my fucking opportunity. So when Ariana posted this throwback of Josh Hartnett, this was literally just a couple weeks ago. And then the Sandoval episode, I'm like,
It all came flooding back to you.
I loved him like you love him. And also Sandoval looked like him. I understand why you love Sandoval now. I totally get it.
Oh,
totally get it.
Gosh.
And then, did you see what Heather posted in our group today? She's like, normally I would never, ever diss my honey. She's like, he doesn't look as great as here. His spark in his eye is gone. And she's like, he's so much better in person. And I commented, like you and I experienced him. I'm like, he is so much more magnetic and charismatic and electric in person. Like he comes alive, because I've never been like oh my God, Tom Sandoval. I've never been that girl.
No.
But in person, he is just so much greater.
Yeah, it's true.
Remember when you were like, he was like Twilight or something, like just. I mean, electric.
No, he just like Chad, Chad had never seen him in person, and he was just like, he just seems famous. I don't know what it is. He's so tall, and he just, the way he carries himself, you're just like, oh my God, who's that? And then you're like, oh my God, it's Tom Sandoval. He's very stunning in person.
At Ariana's Frankie Rose thing, that's when I first, like, I'd seen him before, but he was just very electric in that zone. And then, I said in my comment too, Schwartz is like that.
Yeah.
He's just so much more in person. Just, you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway.
Seeing Lala in person, same thing. But I have to say, I'm so sorry, Randall, that I have to say this, but Randall isn't like that in person.
Really?
It's the second time I've seen him, like right, very, very close up, and
like same.
He just looks like exactly how he does on TV. There's no
Someone posted his baby picture, and he looks exactly the same as he did when he was a baby. And I'm like, he did. Like, it wasn't even a diss. It's like, they're like, some babies look like old men. But I'm like, he did look like him.
That's just hilarious.
It's just a bigger version of his baby picture. But no, I agree with Lala too. She's, yeah. First, like, her body, we're just like, neither one of us swing that way, which is, great if you do. But we were like, probably questioning ourselves. We're like,
yeah, I was definitely swinging that way. I was like, whoa, damn.
I was just like, okay, I gotta go to the gym.
Yeah, and again, seeing her in person at the dog day thing, and knowing that she has a brand new baby she's holding. I mean, she looked incredible. She really did. She looks great.
I think they're all looking great.
They are all on top of their game. And during COVID, it's like we would all cut them like a little break, and be like, dude, it's been a rough year. Like, take a little time for some self-care. But they have all really, they all look really good.
Yep. All right, so Kristen shows up in her
Cringing Kristen.
Favorite, I know, cringy Kristen shows up in her favorite plunge neckline romper.
Yes.
With Jax as her wingman, and Kristen's like, I know I'm a catch. And she's like, I've been in therapy for 9 months, mostly about James, but it should be about Tom. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's probably more about Tom. Like,
yeah.
And then Jax is like, you are a catch. This sells itself. And he points to her. He's like, you're beautiful. And then
it was that was a little hard to watch.
Because then Kristen does her cutesy nose crinkle thing.
Yes.
She's famous for her shoulder shrug and her nose crinkle.
Yes.
She's like, aw, shucks.
Yeah.
And then Jax goes on. He's like, the only thing that will fuck it up is her mouth.
Okay. And Jax does drop the truth bombs a lot, man. Like, I have to hand it to him. That's why I think he would be good on a show like Big Brother or something, because I think he could, ruffle some people's feathers.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, and then she hooks up with this guy that he looks like he's 42, but he's like 24.
Okay, so I have to tell you about this guy. So This guy is like a major fixture at the Belmont. This dude.
Really?
Yes. And um he is friends with one of my friends who did this whole, remember that guy that I went to, we were going to go to the
Yeah.
Belmont, but yes, so he's friends with
Yeah.
him, and he's like kind of like a
Oh,
big deal, or he was a big deal back in the day. I mean, he's definitely had some successes and stuff, but he was on
really?
this series. If you guys are ever bored and you want to watch something that's really effing funny that did not get enough shit back in the day, I think I have mentioned this before, but it's called Mass Holes. Go to YouTube, type in Mass Holes. It's a whole series. It starts with like episode 1 and goes to like episode 16 or something. They did this literally like 12 years ago, and it is with Kenny Wormwald, from Footloose, and it is so freaking good. I mean, honestly, you guys, watch it and tell me what you think. It's really good. But yeah, so that guy is the star of that little series, and when I saw him on there, I'm like, oh my god! Like, so it's totally
Really?
it's like one of their friends for sure, and
Oh.
they're all still friends on Instagram and everything. So
Because they were like, oh, you're not an actor or a model? You're in.
yeah, it's like
Wow.
mm.
Yeah, wrong.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, so that was when as soon as I saw that, I'm like, Chad, look, and we were like, oh my god, it's the guy from Mass Holes.
Wow. Oh, see? The funny things you know watching later on.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I just have to talk about T Sandy's mom for a second. I love her. I thought that her visit was so cute. I love that she told a little story about T Sandy, about his talent show, and she just seemed like so proud of him, and it was really cute.
Well, I thought you would like her accent. She's like, oh my God. She's like, well, talking about the tattoo. She's like, well, serves you right there, mister.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You got a tattoo? Well, serves you right there, mister.
Yeah.
Just like,
I
love
also
it.
I also felt
'Cause she's a badass. And she looked hot as hell when they showed all the, bikini photos
oh
and young hot
totally.
mom. But she's a firefighter, like badass single mom.
And I liked the part where, her and Ariana and Tom kind of had a moment, and she was like, I'm really happy that you're with Tom. Like, he seems really happy now.
Yeah. No
It was just
stress.
kind of a cute moment. And I remember, watching the first time I ever watched, feeling kind of bad for Kristen in that moment. Like, that would suck having, your ex boyfriend's mom be like, this is much better. Like, I don't know. That sucks. But
Yeah.
now
Well,
it's
it seems like they already knew each other. She'd already visited, which that would hurt too.
yeah.
Oh, you've already visited his family and his parents, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Lala, James, hey, Pappy, and then they kiss, and it's just an interesting dynamic, like the back and forth with Lala and James at this point.
yeah.
She puts on her baby voice with him, and she's like, hey, Pappy, what's poppin'? And then it goes to her confessional, and she's like, has her normal lower voice. Like, she's
Yeah.
kind of like an Erica Jane. Like, Erica will talk like, yeah, I'm Erica Jane. And then when she's like trying to be sad, she's like, no one knows what goes on with me and Tom. It's like Lala does that too. Like, her podcast voice is yeah, and then like her baby voice with Jax or James, hey daddy. Like, it's like a Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton, like, everyone says like, oh, we don't know that voice. Like, all of a sudden we met her and she has this low voice. But we're used to simple nice voice like, hey, that's hot.
I 100% think that, like, I don't know if this is, I don't know. I feel like Lala does not know herself yet. Lala is still very young, and she is,
Yeah.
like, constantly not being,
Well,
I don't think she's being authentic to herself a lot, and she's uncomfortable, even though she claims that she's very comfortable. I think that, as she grows and, just like we see Ariana in these, she's changed so much. I think we're going to see Lala change and come into her own a little bit more. That's actually really what I'm looking forward to in this upcoming season. I really hope that it'll be interesting to see what her motherhood journey is and like what's going on with her and Randall. And she's got a lot to juggle. She's still friends with Stassi and Brittany and the group, and I know she's had a hard time, fitting in with everybody again. So I hope to see some big stuff from Lala. I hope that, she can like
Yeah.
really be authentic.
The only thing I'm not super excited about is shit that's already played out. So they're gonna play out her and Sheena's beef. Well, we've already been through that on social media and podcasts and interviews, and not just their own podcasts, but the podcasts they've gone on with others. And it's like, so we're gonna watch that play out, and we know now they're like friends and they're bonding over babies and everything, and that's great. It's just like we've already kind of been through this fight and this battle online and on podcasts, so now it's just kind of replayed on TV. So I'm a little.
Yeah, I still want to hear what she has to say. I want to hear what she has to say and why she did what she did. Like, I don't know. I'm hoping there's a little twist in there, something new, because
Yeah, I hope so too.
yeah, what we know, you're right. It's not that great.
She belittles her because Lisa talks about that too in some interview she was just on. She's like, well, there's some talk on some podcasts and they have to resolve that, and some belittling, and like, yeah, she did it on your own show, Lisa, Overserved, when she's like her D-list podcast, and like we've just kind of already been through it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope there's more than
Yeah.
we've already seen and talked about, but I
So-
mean, also that we know the end of it. It's
Yeah. Hopefully they're holding something back. I hope they've learned their lesson with that and they don't just give us what we already know. Did you hear that Lisa said that Brock is kind of in the hot seat this season?
yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I hope there's some surprises. I hope, come on, like give us something. Give us something. I don't want.
Yeah, I would have liked to probably seen. I mean, Brock is so alpha that him and Jax, I could have seen like some kind of dynamic there, like a little, whereas like the Toms are gonna. We already know Sandoval and Ariana and Sheena and Brock, they get along great. They spent a lot of time in COVID. Before that, they spent New Year's Eves together, birthday. So, and Sandoval's that supportive character to an alpha.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have liked to maybe have seen a alpha, like kind of dogfight Brock and Jax. But I don't know if that would have happened. Either I think Jax would have become more like old Jax with Brock.
Uh-huh.
Like, and then Brittany would be like, grow up. I don't know. I'm struggling to see where the problem is going to be.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be the girls going for him, that's going to be annoying, But,
He's not as mature as Randall.
yeah.
Yeah, because he's 25 years younger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
She'll
Oh my gosh,
see.
I can't wait. I literally can't wait. Like, I hope we get to see soon. Okay, so what else happens in this episode? I feel like we're really making this one long. So what did you think about the comedy diary thing?
Well, exactly what I thought the first time.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was funny. I didn't. I mean, actually, now looking back, when they said, Sandoval doesn't have journals, he just has song lyrics. That actually is really funny because that's like that whole like mixtape era, and the fact that he was so emotional to like really pay attention to these song lyrics. It actually, that strikes me funnier now than it did then, because he's like, oh, these lyrics, like that is funnier to me than Ariana's. Well, it's really kind of weird now because at the time when that aired, we didn't know she was fluid. So she's just making fun of herself being ignorant. but really she was still hiding and covering up that part of her life, right? So I don't know. I didn't think it was funny at the time, even though she was making fun of herself for being ignorant. It's just kind of weird now watching, knowing, she's just, I don't know. I just didn't think it was funny really at the time, other than poking fun at herself. But for someone that was like, has tons of shorts with millions of views, as she would say.
It was just like, I just felt like so awkward. And exactly what I think it was Schwartz that said it, where he's like, it's just horrible to come to one of these events and watch your friends bomb. Like, it's not comfortable. And I definitely felt like that. Like, I mean, T. Sandy reading his lyrics was so cringy, although I, like you, thought it was funny. It's hilarious. And then Ariana, again, like, I guess knowing what we know now, whatever, like, it just came off as, like, sad. I was like, oh, shoot. Like, that's really not even funny. And I don't think she thought it was funny. And now she's going up there trying to be funny. And this, like, is just, like, falling very flat because it's obviously something from her diary that did mean something. It was just like, ooh, yikes, that didn't age well.
Right.
So,
at that same time when they were walking in there, we have Lala telling, in Anna's face was Jax, and then Jax was like, I don't get it. And, like, he's not getting it, his face isn't getting it, and he flat out says, I don't get it. And I'm like, I kind of agree.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Jax, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But then Lala walks in, she's like, to Jax, you gotta stop walking in here looking all good.
Ugh.
But then James comes up and kisses Lala right in front of Jax.
Yes.
And Jax tells, you do that in front of me. And James is like, isn't your girlfriend coming soon? Yeah, she's coming Friday. But then he tells Lala.
This was so good.
Yeah, well, imagine watching it, Brittany. Yeah, she's coming Friday, which she is. But then he tells Lala he's lying. She's not coming. I just said that to get him away from me. And there's just like...
I mean, Jax is such a freaking liar. And, I mean, this is classic James, the way he called him out so quickly.
Yeah. Great.
Yes. And I hope that this season with James that he still is like that. Like, I don't know who his conflict is going to be with, but I hope it's still there. Like, I hope he has somebody to call out because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But then Lala goes, well, whatever. If he has a girlfriend or not, that's not my problem.
Yeah, yikes.
So Lala tells Jax he'll have to kiss... Oh, for payback. Well, you'll just have to kiss me, baby, Poppy, in front of James. That's just the way it works.
Yeah, and Jax was not into that. He's like, Okay, so now are they at Tom? Whose house are they at? They start talking about the joint birthday party.
Wait, so we did miss when they were talking about Vegas, and then they talk about how the girls had their own thing, and justice for Sheena. I do remember posting this to whatever, Instagram or Twitter, and then to Sheena when was it Adam who said that she wasn't a good kisser?
Yeah, I think it was Adam.
And then I do remember pulling this footage, but it was this season, and Lala tells James that they all made out, and he's like, really? Who was the best kisser? And she's like, Sheena, dude. So props, kudos there to Sheena. There's your shout out. Lala said you were the best kisser out of all the girls.
Yep.
So there it is, Adam.
Yeah, Adam. Okay, so we're talking about the group trip, and the gang is like, I thought this was funny. They're like, Jax is like, it's a no for James for me. James can't come. And Tom and Ariana are like, no, we don't mind if James comes. This was also the big season of them kind of standing up for James and Lala, like as it starts happening. Like they always go for the underdog. And then they start bringing up Kristen, and they're like, do you think maybe it's time for Kristen to come back into the trips? They're like, no, no way. Tom gets super mad, and Ariana is getting mad too.
And Katie actually calls Sandoval Stassi, which
Yeah.
really pisses Tom off because, Sandoval, when who called him, when was it Stassi or someone else that said, you're just jealous of me? Oh, yeah, over the book thing.
Yeah.
You're jealous. You know how Sandoval hates that, or the comparison thing? But this is early on, because that was 2 seasons later or 3 seasons later, right? When Sandoval's like, don't ever call me jealous of her. But
Yeah.
Katie says that this season, you're just like Stassi, like because he's trying to bully and manipulate who can come and who can't.
Yes.
But that really pissed Tom off. It's his worst nightmare.
Yeah.
But then Ariana yells at Katie, and I actually noted this is actually the first and probably only time I've heard Ariana scream. Like, she screamed at Katie. Like, we've heard her snap and quit back, and we'll see that in season 5. Like, you're not important enough for me to hate, that kind of thing of the shit she did with Stassi, but she doesn't ever scream. She screamed at Katie,
and she's
over
like,
this.
yeah, she's like, Katie, shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, yeah. Just the emotion that was going on between them, and Tom's like really angry because he's like, how are you gonna tell me like when it's time for me to get over the breakup? The whole group is kind of looking at Tom and Ariana. They're like, dude, enough time has passed. You guys are happy together. Kristen is working on herself. Why can't she just come? Like, why are you doing this? And Tom is like really standing firm, and he's like, it's not you guys, it's not your job to tell me when my timeline of being upset about this is over. He's like not feeling it at all. And Ariana is definitely agreeing, and the rest of the group is kind of like, well, let's move on. And just not happening.
And really, it's his birthday. Granted, I know they're doing a combo with him and Jax's birthday, but it's like, it's his birthday. Christian was what became, the problem between Tom and Jax. So it's like, and then she's broken up with James.
Oh, well, we kind of, just really quick before because we're at the end of this show, but just to go back, Kristen went and tried to apologize to Ariana in the middle of this episode. Yeah. And it just did. Ariana really just didn't give her anything. She pretty much made her look stupid and be like, look, if that's what you need to do to feel better, then, you apologized, but I don't care what you do, just stay away from me. Basically, just like, okay, Kristen, like, you can go back and tell everybody that you said sorry, but I don't want you anywhere near me, which just kind of squashes the dream of Kristen coming on this trip or whatever. And this is why I would like to know, like, did a producer say, look, Kristen, I'm sorry, but like, Tom and Ariana are in a higher position than you right now. Like, if they don't want to film with you, you're not filming. So you need to, like, give us something that we can work with here. Otherwise, you're not filming. Because it felt like that. Like, I felt like Kristen was, like, desperate to get approval from Ariana. And when she didn't get it, it was like, oh, shit. Like, now what?
Dude, that's crazy, because I just went and I skipped these notes, but I'm going back. Kristen and Katie talk in the alley about talking to Ariana and apologizing. I think Kristen is clamoring to stay relevant on the show.
Yes.
Especially with Stassi gone. These are like my notes. And then I said, Ariana won't serve her alcohol. And then I put another Ariana cocky moment, because I know Kristen's like, look, I know we're never going to be friends, but let's just be cordial. And Ariana's like, yeah, we will never be friends. My friends are intelligent, funny, wonderful people. And I've never seen any of those things in you. Like another cocky ass dig slam.
Yeah.
Which was, No, that that is more, Ariana style. The other like vain shit, that's not really Ariana style, but this is hers. Um, and rightfully so. But that's exactly right. I think between producers and Kristen has to find a way to stay on the show because now James, he's locked in. He used Kristen perfectly.
Yeah.
He's locked in, but now there's no need for Kristen because she's not with James or Tom. She's got no friends. And
she literally has, she has Jax throwing her a bone by wingmanning her. Like it's,
and
she was super
Jax,
desperate.
Jax tweeted that or posted, he goes, she's been with us from the beginning. I knew her first. She's out there. I'm not going to leave her hanging. Like Jax actually said that years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember that. He's like, she's been with us. She went through this. She made this whole thing. I'm not going to leave her hanging. And then I think with Stassi leaving, and you know how I said that twist with like Katie all of a sudden turns a new leaf, and Sheena always flip-flops and always goes for the underdog or whoever's nice to her. That's fine. But when Katie said, I'm okay with Kristen coming, I think that's because she probably knew we need Kristen on the cast.
Yeah.
Because I'm not dynamic enough. I don't bring enough drama. But B, like Stassi's gone. Like they knew they needed one of the two crazies. They can't lose both crazies.
Yeah.
Because like Sheena's crazy, but in a superficial way. Like she's not detrimentally crazy. Sheena's self-defecating crazy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like people are laughing at Sheena like in her shenanigans.
Yeah.
No pun intended. And Katie knows Katie's just kind of, the boring like. And you do need those people to balance shit out. Like Ariana balances shit out. Like we can't have everyone crazy, but with everyone crazy gone, I think maybe they realized, or maybe Katie just needed a best friend again because she was now alone.
Yeah.
And
which like, again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to her too. Like this is going to be a year of.
Well, this is her and Lala being best friends now.
Okay.
They literally call themselves best friends. They've been on each other's podcasts multiple times, and they call each other their best friends. So
yeah,
that's their new team.
And those two, if they wanted to, could be a very rough team to deal with.
Yeah, but it is going to be Sheena, Tom, Ariana, James, Raquel, Charlie.
Uh-huh.
So the numbers,
Yeah.
It's, time to reshift the scales.
I can't wait.
And then we got to talk about the new cast. So we'll do that.
Yes.
So, coming to you soon, and we have some other ideas, and I'm excited about them. I just realized, like, got a lot of angles and takes on them, and I'm getting excited again.
Yeah, and we can't wait to hear what you guys think. Like, you guys always give